Hi, everybody. This is Tuesday night, August the 16th, and welcome to our Team Palace Zoom call. I'm really excited tonight. Susan Gieslin, you created a really good topic last week. How do you avoid burnout? So I want to kind of continue on that journey in terms of what it is that makes us have ease in our journey, that have things flow to us. It has a schedule that flows. It has a rhythm. Not saying it's not challenging, but how do we create not more ease, but just more flow and watch our business move forward rather than come against some roadblocks. So I'm going to share my screen, and I am going to do something. Whoop. So how do we achieve more, less stress, and achieve greater results? And so I'm going to go through a few thoughts pretty briefly, and then we're going to have some people share just about how their thoughts and that shift in their thoughts, their shift in certain things inside of them created really better results. So we're always told to take action, right? But what if our actions aren't giving us what we want? And that's what we were talking about last week. That's what Susan was saying. Look, I'm working it and nothing seems to be coming. So it's really all about alignment. I don't know if Joel Dinos on the phone, he asked me for the link, but this is a lot of alignment. And no matter what happens, if this is out of alignment, things aren't going well. And so the alignment has to be fixed first before we're going to have that flow of energy, flow of blood, less pain. So we're looking for alignment. What does that mean? So it starts with our thoughts, having our thoughts in right alignment with what we want to create. And our thoughts lead to emotions. Have a good thought, we're happy. Have a bad thought, we're sad. Lead to beliefs. Over time, our beliefs form like little ropes and habits. And then the beliefs lead to actions, and our actions lead to results. And too often, this is in dieting as well. You can kind of look at this as our clients and with running our business. But if we don't take care of the first three things, if we usually just focus on our actions, and then the results often aren't what we want to do. If we don't clean up the first three, we're not going to be able to get very far with the other two, the last two. And a lot of times our clients just want us to focus on, okay, go to diet, eat the meal replacements, get results, now what? And us too, it's like, okay, call this many people, and we find ourselves wasting energy. So how do we, really understand that our thoughts are things? And how we know that, science proves it. And I don't know if y'all knew the story where the housekeepers at the hotels, there's a housekeeper in a hotel, it was done at UCLA, I believe, and they took two groups of housekeepers. One, they told, what you're doing constitutes enough exercise, aerobic exercise for exercise for 3 days a week. The other group, they didn't tell anything to. They all did the same work. They all did it before. They all did it after. One group knew that what they were doing constituted enough activity for exercise. That group didn't change the things that they knew. They were thinking that, oh, this is exercise. Their blood pressure went down. They lost weight. Their BMI and hip to waist ratio went down. Pretty cool, just by changing thoughts. So when we know what we're thinking, again, just starting to become aware of our thoughts. And when we're thinking of what we have to do, if we get too specific, if we find ourselves getting anxious, try to get more general in your thoughts. What can you think about that you can ease some of that distress? Thinking about abundance, just in terms that's more general, like thinking about abundance, there's enough. And I know early on, hey babe, that my husband helped me with that one. You'd lose a client would drop off and you'd be so upset. And he would say, it's not about one client. It's about 5 years from now. And that helped me so much, give me a long-term view of it's not just one client. If we're worried about this one client, we're not going to have a business for very long. So again, think in terms of abundance. There's always enough. There's always more clients. The other thing that gets me hooked sometimes is that I don't have what I need. So oftentimes, I mean, we don't have the bars, okay? The Optavia bars, okay, that's slowing me down big time. But I know there are things that I can do even if I don't have the bars. Even if the company, we've had things where the company's gone out and the websites haven't worked. There's so many things that go wrong, but there's always something you can do. Always a way that you can direct your focus on what you do have. And becoming aware of our thoughts, stop, challenge, and choose. And then habitual thinking is that noise. And again, just becoming aware of it can break that noise and choose to have thoughts that are more in alignment with what you want to create. Really weird story about that, and thinking positive. My daughter said, what would you think if I got a nose ring? I go, no, you don't get a nose ring, and I go, you don't clean things well and you get an infection and so I was lamenting with some friends and they go, well, at least she doesn't do cocaine. So I mean, that's the positive, right? So I mean, she wants a nose ring. So anyway, but that is, so what is the first strategy we can use? One is getting clear. Clarity is power. And I love this quote. Gloria Steinem said, the truth will set you free, but first it'll piss you off. So sometimes getting clear really is an eye-opening awakening. But getting clear is the best way to gain energy and momentum. When we are vague, think about it. Just want to help a few people. What do your clients say? Oh, I'm still the same. Don't they say that? I'm still the same. I haven't gained anything. I haven't lost anything. How was your week? Good. And so vagueness wastes energy. And with just helping people. So extrinsic clarity can mean, activity logs, right, tracking what we do. I like to do that after, and I think Cindy said that she does, record what you did all day, how many calls you made, how many people you reached out to, touched. Our map is a great way. Accountability partners, Marcia does, she texts me, her activities for the day just because it's accountability for her. So those are all ways that you can be very clear about what you're actually doing versus being vague and why aren't things happening. Intrinsic clarity. What is it? And I think it comes down to who you want to become. You're the CEO, become the CEO of your own business. How serving others, being you in the world. I think it comes down to we were all born with a gift. We all have something to share that nobody else on this planet that has ever lived before or ever lived again will be able to touch another life like we can. And it's not the same person that you can touch or you can touch. It's only who I can touch, and connecting with people, and that be my primary motive. Who do I want to be? What is the best use of my talent, passion? What am I good at? Get a checklist of what you're really good at and focus on that and put that out in the world. The other really key strategy is know the value provide. This, again, is clear. But, if we're looking at getting clients, well, why we want clients? To serve us, serve our goal at the end of the month. And there's nothing wrong with having a goal at the end of the month. But there's nothing wrong with getting clients. It's just you don't need one client. But the value of what you provide, I think that is what separates a senior coach from a newer coach. And my coach told me, like when you start hearing success stories or you have your own, if you were helped in one iota, you can help somebody else. You can believe enough to help somebody else. Or if you've seen somebody get results, doesn't have to be you. It can be somebody believe in that and hold so firmly to that you're bulletproof. Any argument people have, any pushback, you don't need to convince them. You don't need to try so hard. You don't need to sell them. But know the value that you provide. And really, and so my coach told me, when I started seeing results, and she goes, Susan, 6 months from now, you will see that it happens over and over and over again. So talk to your mentor coaches, listen to other stories, and start believing what they believe. And the leadership calls, the training calls, the videos in our Simple Systems docs, watch those because they believe. Beyond a shadow of a doubt, they believe. And they don't care if you believe too. Watch for hidden desires. Now, this is kind of complicated. But one thing I want to say is the more value you feel, the more value you'll actually provide. If I don't feel good about myself and it's called metacognition. If I'm thinking that I'm trying to get someone, they know it. There's an energetic kind of connection that I can't lie. They see it in me. And the more value you can provide to others. So you've got to feel valuable in any way, shape, or form, whether it just be smiling at someone. So watch for hidden desires because those are vagueness. Those are, do you want to escape or avoid? So in other words, okay, I want enough money. I want enough clients so I don't have to really do this anymore. That hidden desire will sabotage or get in the way of that desire to really serve people and do what you want to do. Avoiding, like, okay, I don't want to, make calls or whatever. Like when people won't answer the phone, you're avoiding that connection with people just to get the job done. And it's fine, but it may run into roadblocks. It may not serve you in understanding the intrinsic value you provide to someone. So it's that connection with people. Intrinsic value, what do you provide to you in the world? And then here's the valuing yourself. It's like when you make that decision, because I was a new coach once, and you kind of cringe at some of the things you said or did, or it was embarrassing, but oftentimes I would also have an experience where I'd meet with someone and they'd say no, but I would feel so much like a professional that I had something to offer. They said no, but I felt so valued walking out of there, having a conversation. Wasn't right for them, but I felt really proud of what I do and what the value I provide. So the fear of rejection is caring more. This is a decision we make, caring more about what someone else thinks of us versus making a difference for them. And many times you will sometimes have to say something that maybe someone might not agree with. And you have to be okay with it because you want to make a difference for somebody. So what do we want to do? We want to engage. So engage in life fully, like engage in this process, even if you wake up and say, I don't know what to do. And that's basically what Susan did last week that started this whole thing. So thank you, Susan. I don't know what to do. I'm finding myself not wanting to call, avoiding, escaping, embrace your strengths, embrace other people's strengths. And watch, when you embrace someone else for who they are, you won't judge them, for what they're not doing. So the more we embrace who we are and create value, always look of ways to create value. And finally, the most important thing is joy in the journey, because I don't know if Vicky's on the phone. We talked earlier, but the joy in the journey for our clients, when they watch the scale and they complain, but yet, what about their cravings? Oh, I haven't had any. Oh, well, how did your clothes fit? Oh, great. But they watch the scale, and because they didn't lose this pound, they get frustrated. So same thing with us. Things are going to go bad. People are going to drop off. 20% will. Only 20% will say yes, and out of those 20% that say yes, 20% will drop off. So that's just part of us serving. That's part of what we do. And enjoying who we become, what we learn about ourselves, what we learn about others, and being more interested, I know that's a cliche, than, interesting. And when we're that way, we don't have to think about what we have to say or who we have to be. Man, it just is so powerful that, that our intrinsic motivation will show through. It won't be filtered through our brain, our fears, what are people thinking of me? So that is my presentation for today, conversation. And of course, I need to escape. And I need to largen this, right? What do we do here? How do I get y'all back? Hi, everybody. I don't know how to get my full screen back. Let me see, hold on. Well, can y'all see, can everybody see everybody else? Perfect, okay. All right, so, Liz, you have experienced, I get the privilege of talking to everybody and hearing about everyone's journey and watching the magnificent, just little shifts can make a huge difference. Would you be willing to share with us a little bit about anything that you resonated with and how that shows up in your world to make things a little bit easier or fun, flow?
Of course. So, I don't know that easier is the right word, but fun is more right. I think this work is hard work. I think like our plan, the plan is simple, but it's not always easy. I think this work is pretty clear in terms of it's acquiring clients and coaches and supporting them in whatever their goals are, not what our goals are. And I think that's really hard. And so the joy, I think, comes, I know that for me, I've had several shifts in thinking, and I continue to have shifts in thinking. I think Susan is dead on with the sense of embracing exactly what you have, where you are in life, where you are with your business. And that's not always fun to do because it most often has to do with what's between your ears. I wanted to be an expert when I came into this business. I was very proud of being a credentialed, having gone to good universities, and I wanted people to know that I was really smart. I wanted to be the expert. That's a way of thinking that was going to hamstring my business and did hamstring my business. And so finding a way of finding joy in not needing to be the expert and not needing to be the credential bearer. Somebody that I've been talking to talks about, how we hear sometimes about commission breath, how people will, if they think you're selling, they smell commission breath on you and they're going to run away as fast as you can. Well, my version of that is credential breath. If I have to be the be all and end all expert, then people run away in a way because they'll never do this business if they have to have my credentials. So is it easy to give that up? No. But is it right to give it up? Yes. It makes me grow and it helps me have more fun. So that's an example of embracing exactly where you are and still needing to transition away from that to whatever, in my case, I would say whatever God is growing me into next. But whatever your own personal development is next.
Brilliant. Thank you. Yes, it is the hardest work, but then when you're free of it, or, as you release those concepts and those thoughts and those, that systemic habitual thinking, things just flow. And thank you, Liz. It's been it's so fun to watch. And if we didn't, all that we can be gets stopped and plugged up with some really crummy thoughts, the hose, gets really, so it's very fun to watch. So thank you. Vicki, hey there. So I said, Vicki, I've just noticed a shift in you, and you had I don't know, everyone who came in the door, I said, oh, who invited you, Vicki? Who invited you, Vicki? Who invited you, Vicki? Who invited you, Vicki? And so anyway, and just just things are flowing to you. So I called you and I said, so what shifted in you? So I don't know if you remember, but I'll unmute you, okay? Okay. You're on. You're unmuted. Well, now we can't hear you. I check yours. I'm going to go check in, and I'll go. Marcia, you want to share? I'm going to unmute you. I unmuted you, Marcia.
Oh, you beat me to it.
I know. So, Marcia, you've really, been shifting yourself. So tell us a little bit about, what shifts and what seems to be going right for you.
I decided a couple of things. I guess a couple of things sunk in. First of all, for me, this is about keeping me healthy. And so I'm intrinsically motivated to not become a type 2 diabetic, and then I have to go on medication, and I have the consequences of living with type 2 diabetes. So it's very important to me that I stay healthy. And I know as a medical professional with so many years of different experiences in so many areas of healthcare that there's nothing better out there. And so for me, it was just saying to myself, I'm going back to work. When I was a nurse, I didn't think about whether people wanted to talk to me or, if I was, I didn't think about how I got paid and why I got paid. I knew I got paid because I was doing something to help people. So the way I got back on board with this was I decided that I wanted to feel financial security, especially since Emory retired, and I didn't want to go back to nursing. So I was going to make this work again. And I know I'm so good at it. I just had to put on my going back to work hat. And so you've been very gracious, Susan, working with me, and I've been texting you, I think, every day for over 2 weeks at least, how many calls I make each day. And that's just for me to learn to be accountable, just like when we do the 5 and 1 and you have that weekly check-in, but the first 3 days until you get into a fat burn, you touch base with your coach. Well, Nicole told us that it takes 62 or 66 days to form an actual habit in your brain. So this is, I'm doing my 66 with Susan, and then we'll go on from there. I love what I do. And it's funny, since I made up my mind to do that, I signed up 3 new clients, and I haven't done that in 1 month, not to say in a week. So I'm just, it's hard work. It is hard work, but that's okay. It's very rewarding, and I love it.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you, Marcia. Really great. And yeah, it's been fun to watch you, grow and be all of who you can be. It's just very cool. So thank you. Cindy, do you feel like talking? And I'll unmute you because I know you're on a pad.
Well, I think the real shift starts with the personal growth and the personal journey. So I've been, very introspective and giving a lot more time to growing me and being a more, positive all around me. And so in that shift and making sure that I start my day with that intention, and like Susan said, putting blinders on, I just keep on taking those actions and moving forward. And they might be direct results or indirect results, but the result has been that I am bringing on more clients and having a lot of fun doing it. And when people drop off or things don't quite go the way I'm going, I'm really focused more on my vision. I have hanging right at my desk, my motivation, and I heard this on the networking call, my motivation can't come from my yeses, it can't come from my no's, and it can't come from my maybes. It's got to come from my vision. And that's some wise person said on that call, and And I look at that and just keep on going forward. But it's all about growing me, and that's what I've been doing a lot of.
Yay, I know. It's great. Thank you, Cindy.
You're welcome.
Vicki, are you there now? Wait a minute. Okay, are you there? I can't hear you. Check your mic. Can't hear you now. What number? Hold on, let me see if what number you're on. Where is there 404? There you are. Okay, hold on. All right, you're unmuted.
Yeah, it's very bizarre because it says on my thing, on my computer, Zoom can't detect the sound from your microphone, but I'm on these all the time, so I don't know. I can't look at the computer because I hear myself in stereo, so I'm going to move my computer. I'm sorry. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we sure can. Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. So for me, I think that I have just, sorry, I have to walk away from my computer. For me, a couple of things. I think for me, one of the big things that has changed is a shift in the company. I think the Optavia brand being our own entity and our own way to reach out to people that, and not necessarily associated with Manifest, like you and I talked about earlier. That was sort of a, you know, the elephant in the room, so to speak, where if people had preconceived notions, they were not necessarily open, or that was just a place where the ball dropped. So the fact that we've got another alternative that's exclusive to us, that people can only get through us, I think, and the fact that it's got some things that have been, or doesn't have some things in it that have been barriers for people, I think is great. I think, you know, a couple of things that Cindy said resonated with me as well. You know, not getting attached to the outcome. You know, every now and then you're going to have clients that, for whatever reason, they decide to go in another direction. They decide they can't continue. They don't want to transition. Whatever it is, there's always more people that actually want help. So I've shifted from not necessarily getting attached to anyone's outcome, but just always looking for people that are actually desiring change. So for me, I guess those are the things that have helped me. And the story that I shared with you earlier, that Nick at conference, he gave the scenario of two kids in a car on the way to Disney World, and one kid really appreciating as they went from state to state. This is what Georgia looks like. This is what Florida looks like. And then the other kid saying, "Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet?" And really getting to think about this as a self-exploration journey and not just about that number on the scale. So I try to posture that at the beginning of people's journeys so that they start appreciating all the other pieces that go along with it and not just that number as the final destination.
That's so good. You know, you said that David Miller on one of our calls said that, you know, was really good about posturing people at the first about what's going to happen and how things may, you know, what to do when things go wrong. And you talked about that really shifted your, this conversation with clients, which shifted your confidence, right?
Right. Well, it's just setting up people to know that they don't have to be perfect and not expect them to be perfect. And that when they're struggling, that's the time to reach out, because that's typically the time that people might be embarrassed or feel ashamed or not want to coach, and, you know, that there's zero judgment, just there to move along. And that's the more important time. We like to celebrate, but we also want to, you know, catch them when things aren't so well, going so well.
Yeah. Yeah. Really good. And, well, thanks for that. And I liked your boyfriend analogy. Tell us about your boyfriend analogy real quick.
I forgot my boyfriend analogy. What was my boyfriend?
Well, you're just saying that, you've gotten, like, this week, you had like 3 new clients or 4 new clients, and then you said that you
Yeah. So yeah, kind of like when you got an okay boyfriend, but they're not. You move on to the people who want to be with you, and then if the bad boyfriend decides they want to maybe change their behavior and reach out again and become a better boyfriend, then you might consider dating them again. But if they're again, it's that whole not getting attached to the outcome, because you can't make anybody do anything they don't want to do. It's all about choices, but some people make the choice that they don't want to be in the game, or they want to be half in the game.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. And it's so true that we try and make people like, just eat this, it's not that hard, right? So anyway, that's our frustration, and we lose alignment. So, all right, well, listen, if anyone has any questions, any comments, anyone want to share anything else? All right, well, we will end, and I will post the recording.
I have a question.
Yay, yes. Hi.
When are the bars coming back?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. But they are serving as my guide that I can always do something else. I have a client calling me every day. I am like, it's slowing me down. I'm like,
they haven't given any idea. I was like, did I miss something somewhere? So they haven't given any kind of we're looking at 6 weeks or next month or next year, nothing.
no, and they did do that with the strawberry bars. Like, it was in July. We got them back when they were out of stock. But it was funny because I called like a global support line, and I said, okay, I hate to ask you this question. And she goes, you want to know when the bars are coming back? And I go, how'd you know? I mean, I didn't say, I said nothing else. I have a question. I said, I have a question. It might not be a good question. But anyway, and she says, why? Because you're the 50th person who called me. Called. And there's I don't know, there's not even 100 Team Global. So anyway, but isn't that funny? So everyone to know, I am going to try, and I have to talk to corporate about something else. I'm going to try, and they haven't called me back yet. So I'm going to see if I can get any information.
You should give us some kind of something. You don't roll something new out like that and then run out in 2 weeks. That's ridiculous.
2 weeks. I know, crazy. I know it's slowing
I mean,
me
it's
down.
bad planning. Irritates me.
Well, and again, I just don't think they even had a clue. I really don't think they even knew. So,
But even anybody could have told you that the bars are going to be the thing that are going to go fast.
right, exactly. Yeah,
Well, I was hoping you'd have some insights. I was checking in.
thank you. No, I wish I did. Yes, Bob Trow. Hold on, I'll unmute you. Yeah.
Well, I think in the interim, when we have to stretch a bit when we don't have them, I think those muffins and everything that we did, if we could kind of share more of how we can make grab and goes from non-grab and go items, that might be of great value in the absence of bars. So those items were really great, and I think they went over very well. And I know I posted on Drop Weight, Gain Health that Optavia 30, where all those recipes are. That was a great find. I thought that was pretty awesome. So if you haven't seen that, take a look.
What is it, a website?
It's Pinterest, and so they have a Pinterest. They have it on our fuelings. They have recipes, and they have a good amount of recipes for the Optavia products. And I thought that was pretty fabulous.
Good info.
Yeah.
Probably about 12 or more.
Thanks for that. And Dinoff's made the sweet potato muffins were so good on Sunday. So we need to post that. Have Audrey post that recipe for us, Joel, on Drop Weight. Yeah. Okay. Good. I mean, all right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great week. We'll see you next week. Bye.